Hey everybody, my name is Anne and I'm an English teacher here in Jeollanam-do, South Korea. I've lived in Korea for almost 2 years now and I've been keeping track of most of my travels or my experiences on my website, Where's Anne. Now I have been reflecting on my past 2 years here in Korea, and I was looking back on this post that I wrote, my observations of Korea during my first 2 weeks. Before moving to Korea, I did a lot of research. I read many blogs, Reddit posts, and of course, I watch a lot of YouTube videos. Almost every YouTube video there is out there related to life in Korea before moving. I tried to mentally prepare myself for any culture differences or culture shocks or language barriers. I tried to keep my expectations low and just be open-minded to moving to a new country. Now looking back, here are some of my observations of South Korea during my first 2 weeks. The first thing that I wrote was, not everything is written in Korean. For some reason, I thought everything was going to be written in Hangul, the Korean language, but I found a lot of English and some Chinese on restaurant menus, transportation signs, internet sites. Pretty much everywhere you go, there was also English there. The second thing that definitely surprised me, and this is probably common in Asia, is that there are many tall 10 to 20 floor sky-rise apartments where families or maybe people who are working in that city. I remember seeing a house that was a traditional Korean style house, and in their backyard or in their neighborhood were some of the new sky-rise apartments, and I really wanted to ask one of the people who lived there, how do you feel about these ugly sky-rise apartments being in your neighborhood? I was surprised when I visit Busan that even up on the hill they still had sky-rise apartments. Free appetizers or side dishes always come with a main dish, so to me it was kind of similar to Olive Garden, how at Olive Garden they will give you the free breadsticks. Well, in Korea, they will give you side dishes with kimchi or acorn jelly or anchovies or some type of lettuce and sometimes mandu. So that's kind of keeping it healthy as you are waiting for the main dish. Koreans love spicy food that has like a small spice flavor. They like soju and seafood, squid, pork, and barbecue fried chicken. Koreans like honey and sweet foods. For example, the potato chips have a sweet taste. I also noticed that soju is strong, cheap, maybe $1, and it's drank pretty often with coworkers after work. And I also noticed that you can drink alcohol in public parks. It's pretty accessible to buy in a convenience store or in a grocery store. Recycling and proper garbage bags are enforced. So you should separate the cardboard, the plastic, the regular trash, and glass bottles from each other, especially if you live in the apartment buildings or if you visit convenience stores. Another thing I noticed, public parks or roads are pretty clean of litter, and I didn't see like a lot of chewing gum. I saw lots of scooters, bikes, and motorcycles, but I was really surprised that Korea really upkeeps their cars. So their cars are probably not 20 years old. Like in America, in Pennsylvania or New Jersey, you might see a car that is being run down to the ground. It's like really old. I saw a lot of Adidas, like the slip-on shoes, and a lot of the tennis style sneakers. These Adidas slide-on shoes are usually worn inside. So maybe in the bathroom, in your house, or in a Korean hotel, you'll see the slip-on shoes because you're not supposed to wear your shoes inside. I also visited a temple, and the temple had the slippers for people to visit the temple or the museum and put on the slippers, not your real dirty shoes. I noticed that Korea has a lot of mountains, and the mountains are very steep. Many of the buildings and public transportation have air conditioner, something I don't really see in the US. During my first 2 weeks in Korea, I thought that Koreans are very generous and that they kind of go out of the way to help the foreigner. So when I was trying to figure out a bus to take, someone helped me before I asked them. So I thought they were very nice and helpful to me. I noticed that people seem to be learning Chinese or English as their second language. I thought Korean babies are the cutest. I thought the children here are very energetic and usually running away from their parents. I've seen young children wearing matching outfits with their sibling, which I thought was super cute. When I went shopping, I saw some teenagers and young adults wearing like t-shirts that say an English phrase, and some of the English phrases were not real phrases that I've ever heard before, and they're kind of random. Many people kept asking me, boyfriend? Where boyfriend? Like asking me if I have a boyfriend or where is he, assuming that I didn't come to Korea by myself. Here's a good story. So when I first came to Korea during the first 2 weeks and I was just exploring, I went to a church and just randomly went to a church, which I don't usually do in the US, but I went to a church and I obviously could not understand anything that they were saying because it was in Korean, but I noticed all of the ajumas and ajoshis, like the old people, their hairs were not white or gray. They kept dyeing their hair black or dark brown. So I was very, very surprised that the entire room was filled with old people with their hair dyed. For makeup, teenagers and young adult girls are wearing like a pink or red lipstick, and some of them are wearing high platform sandals, or even I saw a girl wearing high heels when it was raining. I was surprised. Also, teenagers and young adults love to take selfies. Korean parents also like to take a lot of photos of their babies. People mainly drive 3 color cars, white, black, or silver. I noticed that the drivers almost always back up the car into the parking spot every single time. There were many Hyundai, Kia, Renault, Samsung brand cars. I saw some Mercedes, I saw a Mustang, and BMW and Volkswagen, so I was very surprised how many cars I saw. For the first 2 weeks, I kept staring at it and trying to figure out what it was. It's a mirror because the car is so long that they cannot see the bumper of where the car is. And that's like a SUV, kind of minivan. That elders, pregnant, or disabled people have the rights for sitting in a seat in the buses or subways, and this is kind of like a respect towards them. I noticed a lot of cute things and cute music playing in the bathroom or buses. These faces are kind of popular to see on a toilet sometimes if you're at a public restroom. One thing that kept annoying me, I could not find toilet paper or real soap in the bathroom, so I learned that I need to start just carrying it. There are lots of cafe shops, e-marts, hair salons, technology phone stores, all on the same road, and I wanted to know, how did these companies stay in business when they're always competing, probably with the same shop next to it? I noticed that there's a lot of free workout equipment outside of apartment buildings, but I noticed that only the older generation uses them, and maybe because the other generation is just busy or embarrassed if people see them. I don't really want people to see me working out, but maybe it was also summer, so the equipment is too hot during the hot summer sun. There were a lot of parks and recreation areas because Koreans love to work out because it's a good balance between their work life, their personal life, and their personal fitness is really important to Koreans. I rode my bike a lot around the rice fields, so there are a lot of rice fields. I really enjoyed looking at these gates outside of some of the Koreans' houses, and most of them have a keypad or a camera, so that is good house security. A lot of skinny trees or young trees being held up by other pieces of wood really surprised me. It is true that the Korean internet is very fast. I could not visit Spotify, I could not visit my American home phone carrier company, so I had to use a VPN. When I first came to Korea, I expected more cockroaches or dirty bugs or spiders, but I didn't really have any of those encounters, thankfully. I noticed that Koreans love cleaning, and they clean very often, almost like every day. And maybe it's because they have a smaller space, so it's easier to keep up, or something that they just really value keeping their home space clean. Again, taking off their dirty shoes at the door kind of shows that they respect their clean home space, or at least that's what I thought. I also noticed that there are a lot of art murals, so it's like a nice way to bring color to the neighborhood. So those are my first impressions and observations of the first 2 weeks that I came to Korea. I am very grateful and thankful for all the opportunities that I've had in Korea and the people that I've met and my job and my apartment. If you have any questions or things that surprised you, you can leave a comment below or send me a message. And please subscribe if you'd like to see more Life in Korea videos. Thanks for watching. Bye!